Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Makeshift SMG mod, which is being made by user Warmock, and what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a fun new submachine gun that has a pretty interesting look and feel to it, and I really love the idea of this weapon, and it may of course look a bit familiar to all of you, as it does bear a striking resemblance to the existing in-game combat rifle and combat shotgun, and for good reason. It's made from parts of those guns, both literally, as in the modeling of everything, as well as figuratively. The whole idea behind this weapon is that it's a makeshift gun created from spare parts that are lying around for those existing guns, which just makes sense that something like that would happen in a wasteland like the Commonwealth. Why make weird little pipe rifles if you got spare parts lying around for other guns that you can cobble together? It's a pretty fun idea. Now let's take a look at what you do get with this weapon. Now, the most basic form of this thing is pretty simplistic and won't do a huge amount of damage. As you can see here, the most basic form will do 14 damage with 38 rounds, with a firing rate of 127, range of 95, accuracy of 74, and a weight of 5.2. Now, I say the most basic version because, well, ammo-wise, there really isn't a standard. It uses basically all sorts of small rounds, the 38, the 45, 10mm, etc. And as you can see down here, we have ammo conversions for all of them in the weapon modification. So this is the lowest level of damage this gun will do at 14 with 38 rounds. And overall, I quite like the look of this thing. It, of course, is obviously made of combat rifle and combat shotgun parts, but has a few interesting uniquenesses to it that I quite enjoy. And overall, again, I like the idea of any sort of makeshift weapon made of spare parts. It's fitting to a wasteland. Now, you can, of course, fiddle around with modifications to make things like a fun little well, they're all submachine guns, so a high-capacity submachine gun with lots of bullets firing 5mm rounds doing up to 25 damage. Very quick firing at that. Or, you know, go a bit more stealthy with a nice silenced 45 version, which this gun here is actually the highest amount of damage you can do with this weapon without having any perks beyond that. So just at a base level, the most you'll get is 36 with the 45 rounds. So let's actually go take a look at what modifications we do have for this thing. So let's head over here to a weapon workbench and take a look first off at the receivers. Now, not a whole lot of options in here. We just have the three: the standard, the improved, and the advanced, which all it will do is just bump up the damage, and that is pretty much it. Now, we then have a really odd option that I actually don't think I've seen in any other mod. We can choose to have our barrel be either, you know, rifled for accuracy, as pretty much every gun is, or smoothbore for better range but lower accuracy, which, again, I like the idea of that. Since it is a makeshift weapon, they might not have a rifled barrel. They just throw in a, you know, pipe from some plumbing. And so yes, if you want range for at the loss of accuracy, which seems awkward, you can go with the smoothbore barrel. We then have grips in here with only two options, either the short or a full stock there. We then have in the magazines either the standard, a quick eject, and then a drum magazine to hold a whole lot of bullets. We then have in sights just a handful of options, either the standard iron sights, the glow sights, or either circle or dot reflex. Then in muzzle, our only option here is the suppressor, no other sort of things like compensators. And then, of course, the ammo conversions, where we have the option of either 38 doing 14 base damage, the 10mm doing 19, the 5mm doing 20 base damage, or the 45 doing 24 base damage. The 45, of course, being the most damaging of all of them, and then plus with the better receiver, that is where you'll top out. And finally, we also have the option to choose what kind of system this gun uses, either blowback or gas operated. Again, not something I don't think I've seen on any other mods. So we can either go with blowback, which will have an improved firing rate but inferior accuracy, or gas operated for improved accuracy but inferior firing rate. Good for if you are wanting to go a bit more slow firing for those longer range accurate shots. And yeah, those are the various modifications for the Makeshift SMG. So let's of course go and take a look at them shooting. So let's go to our usual spot right over here and take a few shots. There we go, and of course, being based off of the combat rifle, etc., the standard in-game animation is used there and works very well. Now, the iron sights on this thing are pretty good. I do like that little extra sort of metal bit on the front. I don't know, it kind of just seems to frame in things a bit more. It's quite nice there. But yes, using the sort of standard in-game sounds and animations, it works pretty well. Now, I'm actually not going to bother shooting this one right now because it's going to have the exact same sound. Well, oh, what the heck, we'll show it with the animation with the, barrel magazine on this one. There we go, just a little bit different, and of course, using, for this particular one, the reflex sight. And then finally, the suppressed, powerful Makeshift SMG with, again, the reflex sight. And as you can definitely tell here, a lot slower on the firing rate because, of course, I went with the gas operated on this one to improve the accuracy. So it's a lot more controllable. I'm not moving the mouse, and it's barely rising up from the recoil. Whereas, of course, the other ones, if we go back to the just normal 38 one, here we go, a lot more recoil with the same amount of bullets. We barely went up past the shoreline with the gas operated, but with the blowback, oh boy, we were up here. Good times indeed. But alright, that means, of course, we have to put an end to our usual test subjects over here. Oh, poor Randy and Will, but oh well, that is their job. So let's take out Will with the longer range, slower firing, and not sneaking. There we go, a couple of shots with a quick burst, and we were able to take him down pretty easily. Not so hard there. Now let's actually go to the much larger 75-round magazine for Randy, because, well, with my inaccuracy, it's probably going to need it. There we go. And actually, we really didn't. We tore his head completely off. Oh, I'm so sorry, Randy. That's probably one of the most gruesome deaths you've had on this series. Oh, you poor rat stag. But yes, that is the Makeshift SMG. Not exactly the most complicated of weapon models or anything like that, but I like the idea of it. Why wouldn't people in the Commonwealth wasteland make up new guns based off of spare parts they have for others? It just makes sense to me. And so, a simplistic SMG using ammo from a variety of calibers to give you a fun new little submachine gun experience, and perfect, of course, for a commando type character. But that is going to be it for today, folks. If you would like to check out the mod for yourself, you can take a look at the link in the description as per usual. But I do hope you have enjoyed and that you do come back for the next episode when hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.